Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Weekly Healing Circle. I hope everybody is doing good. We got quite a bit to talk about today. I really wanted to start this live. You know what? We're going to start the live that way. I've been wanting to start the live with a cleansing for like a hot minute because the way the energies have been not cute. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna start the live with a cleansing. Let me just grab some black sage and call it a day because we're not going to do let me just light this up for a second. Because I'm just gonna take some black sage and I'm gonna start off the live with a little cleansing because the way the things have been for a minute is just like okay. So I'm gonna just start by and for those who are gonna ask, I'm using black sage and it went off. I have the fan on, so it's gonna blow it. But for those who are curious, I'm using black sage. I love black sage. It's one of my faves. It keeps going on because I got the fan like right behind me. But we're starting off with a cleanse because y'all. Okay. We are starting off with a cleanse. And it blew off again. Damn it. But how is everybody else? How are y'all doing out there? Yeah. So black sage is also mugwort. Absolutely love black sage. It's just amazing to work with, especially right now when it comes to, the heavy water energies, because we do have Cancer stellium in the chart right now. So, yeah. It's just, only thing is that unless you hit it with a nice flame buff you, I absolutely love mugwort. Is amazing, very multidimensional to work with. I hope everybody is doing well. Welcome to the Weekly Healing Circle. I know there's also a lot of people. Okay, so I'm live both on YouTube and on TikTok. So also keep that in mind. I also know there's a ton of new people that are following me on TikTok as of recent due to some bullshittery that's been happening on the clock app. So I swear to God, sometimes I feel like YouTube is just my escape from a lot of the BS. There's a lot of effery going on TikTok right now. Oh, okay. Here you go. Here. Let's all get, because hot damn. The way, listen. Now, I will say, like, one thing, when it comes to this whole entire, like, Cancer stellium that's happening right now, there's a lot of people that I've noticed have been saying, oh, their energy feels mucky, or they feel like, they're having a lot of feelings, and that's literally Cancer season. It's just that Cancer season is all blast right now. So this is where we're at. For those who follow me for other reasons, are like, now watching this live. Yeah, your girl is a whole ass bruja. I am indigenous. I am Taino. It's a lot of things. I also have a lot of opinions. Your girl has a Gemini moon, and I have a lot of opinions about things sometimes. But yes, am I doing any readings? So we're doing the weekly healing circle, specifically general community readings. So then I do readings for people. That is the weekly community oracle pool, where we do oracle readings. So today we're just going to be talking about the weekly energies for the collective. So it's for everybody. I'm not doing regular or personal readings. I just wanted to do a little cleanse real quick, because y'all just gonna turn that off. But I hope that y'all are doing well out here in these streets. Let's pull out the Mermaid Oracle, because there's like no other deck to be using right now except for that one. Once I find it, where art thou? Mermaid Oracle deck. Where did I put it actually? I know I put it somewhere in the up. It's over there. But hello, everybody. Hi. I'm a Venus in Cancer in the 5th house. Fun stuff. Interesting stuff. Definitely a love within the spirit, like as far as loving your spiritual practice with Venus and Cancer in the 5th house. But you might also love being a homebody. It can shift. The 5th house is a lot of fun. It is the house of fun. At the end of the day, it's a house of pleasure. But Cancer be very introspective, very moody, very internal, because it rules like the home and stuff. So it could be one of those things where you just really like being at home, really like spending time with family, or really be into your emotions, or you really be into your spiritual practice itself. But Venus just moved into Cancer. So the planet of love, pleasure, money, okay, enjoyment is in Cancer now. The sign that rules over family, the emotional energies, like your intuition, all of these things currently in Cancer, it definitely 100% make you feel your way through more, especially because of the Cancer stellium that's in. It's just a lot of things are just Cancer right now. Let's just say that. What type of work should we be focused on right now? A lot of emotional release work. There's a great time to work with the water energies. And I always say it comes to the summertime, that is like summertime, and kind of the water starts calling you. You want to go to the river, you want to go to the beach, just go to water. Highly recommend working with the water element. Like your life depends on it. Even if it's just some basic, like you just drinking water, bless that water. Bless that water. Infuse in the water. Learn how to transmute energy with water. There's so much things that you can do with water. There's so many water spirits. It's a lot. It's a lot. Water is a very extensive and intensive element to work with. It can be very heavy, as it is like the volume of it. It can be very heavy to work with because emotions are heavy. Emotions don't always like feel good. Emotions don't always like, feel good to navigate and process. You're not always going to feel good navigating the water. Sometimes you're going to get pulled by the current of the water. Sometimes you're going to get dragged emotionally, right? So this is a great time to do a lot of water work, whether it be water divination through water. You can do even like scrying with water. You can do a lot. I recommend spiritual baths. If you're not doing it in nature, do it in the comfort of your own home. You might need to be doing a spiritual bath more regularly than usual during this time. I cannot stress that enough. You might feel called to like do more spiritual baths. You might also be very sensitive to other people's energies during this time, because Cancer is very much a homebody. I cannot say enough. So when you're spending time outside with other people, you might pick up on all of their shit. All of a sudden you feel more down. All of a sudden you're like, oh, they were telling me they're down and now I'm down. It's because you're absorbing their shit. You have to understand how water is absorbing, including our own water, because you guys have to understand, Cancer energy and Cancer season taps into our own water. Cancer is ruled by the moon. Okay, the moon tugs and pulls at the ocean waves. We are being tugged and pulled planetary wise right now. So you also need to take into account the way that the planets are moving. Okay, you need to take into account the intensity of the water, including your own, but also other people's water. You are your own river. You are your own lake. You are your own ocean. Okay, you gotta you can't just go party at every beach. You can't just go and think you're about to swim in any type of ocean. You just, there's some that are very calm. There's some that there's rocks. There's some that you will get dragged. Okay, to very mindful of other people's energy. Great time to be doing protective work. Also, great time to work on your spiritual development. I've been saying this. Cancer season is a great time to work on spiritual development. Anything that you're trying to learn or get better at during this time, because we're in a water season, and all of the water signs rule like that spiritual component, that intuitive component. Is a really good time to develop yourself spiritually, work on your clairs, to really work on your spiritual gifts and abilities as well. It was also a great time to tap into ancestral gifts and stuff like that. Talking about ancestral gifts, do not forget to sign up for part 2 of the Healing Generational Trauma Workshop, which is going to focus on the patriarchal side of our ancestors. We already did part 1, which was focused on the matriarchs. And if you missed part 1 of that workshop, it's on the Patreon on the High Priestess level. You guys can rewatch it, including all of the past workshops that I've ever done. I don't like letting my workshops just go to waste. Like, oh, it happened one time and that was it. I like specifically making sure that you guys can replay, go revisit, go redo, what you guys need to do. So definitely make sure you watch part 1 because it was very intensive. We did a whole 1 hour meditation. And then part 2, the tickets are up. So definitely make sure you get your tickets. For YouTube is down in the link in the description. For TikTok, link in bio. So definitely make sure you get your tickets for that. Is there a God or are we God? It's a question from TikTok. First of all, I am not going to sit here and tell anybody what they should and shouldn't believe in when it comes to the creator, because that is not my place. That is your own personal journey. And in my personal opinion, there is a creator, but we are also part of the creator. So that should answer your question. Hello, Lana, how are you? How are you doing? How's everybody doing today? Listen, be easy, be gentle. Y'all also, because Venus is in Cancer, y'all might be feeling a little bit more B than usual, on some, almost like on some moon cycle type-ish, okay? So be gentle with yourselves emotionally, because it's one of those things that if can still no energy, so you might feel very emotionally passionate right now. You might feel very emotionally driven. You might feel very emotionally direct or bold, or like, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things that is really an important time to pay attention to your own emotional energy, pay attention to your own emotional extremes. And when you are in those extremes, transmute that energy, because Cancer is a sign, karma meaning action-based, action-oriented. So it's going to want to do something with the emotions that it's feeling, because it rules emotional energy. So you're going to have to, this is what I mean by you need to learn how to transmute the thing. Learn how to transmute the thing. Learn how to navigate the thing, because it's like you're going to have to find your pleasure and evolve through that emotional ebb and flow. Okay. Hi, I just left the question because I got 2 different Theas not agreeing. Hold on. 2 different Theas not agreeing. Wait. I mean, I don't really care about Christianity, if that answers your question, really. If I can do an egg thing on myself or not, since in PR I always had their either people do it for me. So when you are in the diaspora, I'm definitely going to be answering this question very kind of. I'll just take a second to answer this question. When you are in the diaspora, when you're not at home, when you don't have your elders, when you don't have people around you who did dishes for little to do it with you or for you or to assist you, because I know that can get difficult. I personally say yes, because then in that moment, the only person that is upkeeping that practice is you. You can 1000% go find an elder, which might take some time, and like, you know, navigate that. But it is something you need, and it is something that you know how to do. What? Not doing things, not doing th- and this is like a very, very nuanced conversation, because it's almost like if we don't do the thing, it just kind of ends up dying. Like, especially there's a point where you do also need to recognize that we carry elder qualities, especially if we're the only one around that holds the knowledge that really, I really don't care about Christianity. I don't know why I have to keep repeating myself, but I really don't care about Christianity. I really, really, really don't. So I hope that that answers your question. Anyway, to what I was saying, when it comes to like finding an elder and having an elder around, the things that you learned when you were like a child within those communities, with those tias, with those people, with those, like the things that you have learned, that is knowledge being passed down to you. Okay. That is called oral knowledge. Oral knowledge is the traditional way that things are supposed to be taught indigenously. Cannot stress that enough. Indigenously, it's supposed to be oral. It's an oral tradition, right? So when we're taught things oral tradition wise, if my grandma, which she did, let's say she taught me how to make a tea to, make my stomach, just calm down. Maybe I had a stomach ache or something. My grandma taught me how to make it. And now today, Grandma Abby, my grandma has since passed, right? I have a stomach ache. My mama is in another state or whatever. My elders are somewhere else, whatever. But I know how to make that tea. Why wouldn't I make myself the tea that I need in that moment? You understand when you need medicine. A lot of when it comes to like spiritual medicine, you have to understand that if you have the knowledge to heal yourself, you need to heal yourself. You don't always need somebody else to do it for you. If you know what you're doing, then you don't need anybody to watch over what you're doing. If anything, as far as like guidance or like if you're doing a web limpieza and you don't know fully all of the like the explanations of the things, which vary sometimes by households, right? Regionally, island-ish, like straight from all of Latin America, like a lot of the interpretations vary depending by culture and certain different influences, right? So it's one of those things that is like, if you know how to do something and you need that thing right now in order to release, that's what I recommend you doing. If you know how to put a band-aid on yourself, there's no point of waiting for a doctor to put it on for you. It's one of those things. There are certain things that are going to require elders, that require ceremony, that require very expensive things. But there's a lot of different practices that we've been taught by our elders that are very practical, regular, not necessarily every day, some every day, some periodic things that we are taught by elders that we can absolutely do if we need to do it. It really comes down to that. If you don't have anybody, then you are the only person that you have to count on in that situation. So, and you know what you're doing, I don't see why, and I hope you understand my logic as to why I'm saying what I'm saying, but I don't see why it's wrong at all. It really comes down to that. I don't always check my practices with elders. There's a lot of stuff that I do out of me also watching my mom and my family just naturally go into that thing and do the thing. Like, especially when it comes to plants and herbs and stuff, like just getting in there and just like, oh, this is what you want to see. Like, let me just do. I got you. Oh, you have a headache. Oh, you got this. Okay, I'm gonna make it real quick. It's like a, oh, this is what the problem is. Here's the medicine, and that's the way I approach it. That's really the way I approach it, generally speaking. Yeah, I hope that answers the question. I hope that makes sense. I get the tea reference. That helps. The first time I added too much ginger, so it's. I mean, listen, it's one of those things that you can also kind of cross check, like if you have somebody or like an elder that you know, especially like digitally. I know within the diaspora there's a lot of different elders online. I know that there's also a lot of people that you can't really trust. But yeah, it's one of those things that if you know how to do it and you were taught how to do it, that is oral tradition being passed down to you. What do you do with that what do you do with that knowledge? Do you just let it kind of sit in your head and you don't practice it? Or do you still, feel like you're in the shadow of elders that you've had and you can't, cross that? So yeah. Okay, boom. We solved that one. Anyway, I hope that answered your question. But hello, everybody. Hi, Denise. How is everybody doing? Denise said, as a Cap rising this Cancer season, I'm happy and nurturing myself and making sure I am my own home. It'd be like that. It really be like that. Like when it comes to Capricorn and Cancer energies, they're very opposite to each other, but there's a reason why they're like peanut butter and jelly. It's like Capricorn's gonna ground you, but Cancer is going to force you to like that homeness, like feel at home, feel comfortable, feel grounded and deep rooted. So that, like mirroring effect that happens, beautiful. Great for grounding work though, especially emotionally, great for grounding work. Lana said, my dreams have been going crazy, especially on spiritual tools I should be using. I need to get my hands on some labradorite, apparently. Listen, dreams have been really, really intense lately. I've been definitely having different types of dreams too. And I'm not really surprised. There's a lot of things going on spiritually, but it is a water sign season. Any water sign season is going to also amplify the other water signs, like Pisces, Scorpio. They also benefit from this energy, and they also their energies are also tapped into, especially because Cancer rules emotional consciousness. Pisces ruling the subconscious mind, Scorpio ruling the unconscious mind. So Cancer season brings things up from underneath the surface, and it kind of forces you to say like, oh, that, oh, this, oh, that. Like it's a really, really great time to get really clear on things. But yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised. Lab is also like amazing just for spiritual development alone. So highly, highly recommend. Now let's pull some cards. Let's pull some cards for the week because y'all, let's pull some cards for the week. Let us pull some cards. I hope that y'all been having a good week though. It was a little thick because people want to act crazy on these internet streets for some reason. And it's one of those things that your girl don't got the patience for misinformation and nonsense. So no, I promised myself that I was gonna stop. No, actually, I promised one of my ancestors that I was gonna stop arguing with people online. Right? I literally said, you know what? Okay, I got you. I'm not gonna do no more. I'm just gonna focus on my shit. I'm just gonna do shit. And every freaking day, I go on TikTok and I get tempted to just curse somebody out every day. Every day, I gotta curb myself because the amount of nonsense. The amount of nonsense, y'all. It's not. It's not. But anywho, let us check on these energies, because we 1000% need to check on these energies and see what's going on for this week. This is definitely going to be something. It's going to be a very emotional week because we're also starting off, the week very, very bold. If you look at, I think I just got a message. Okay, sorry, I have Facebook Messenger open on one of the tabs, and it just makes that noise. So apologies. But yeah, there's a lot of energies this week. There's a lot of emotional energy this week. We do have that stellium in Cancer, so there's a lot of emotions. But again, great week to focus on your spiritual and your intuitive development. What do we need to know collectively this week? Okay, listen. 2 of Wands and the Moon. 2 of Wands and the Moon. What did I say just now about how water seasons, anytime this Cancer season, is going to amplify the other water signs? Pisces. The card of Pisces. The Moon rules Cancer 1000%, but the Moon card is a card of Pisces in tarot. What do we need to know collectively this week? What do we need to know collectively this week? What do we need to know? Oh, okay. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get y'all the bottom of the deck right now. It's a couple of them. Okay, I'm not surprised, but it's a couple of them. Bottom of the deck, underlining energies, is the 3 of Pentacles, the Cups, the 7 of Cups, the 10 of Pentacles, the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, and Temperance. Temperance. It's a card of Sagittarius. The card of education. What did I just say about this is a great time to focus on your spiritual education? I don't make these readings up, y'all. I don't. Okay, so we're starting off this with the 2 of Wands. Then we have the Moon card. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Okay? We're starting off the week very much decisive. We listen to ourselves a little bit more. This is a really, really great time for you to intuitively listen to yourself. Cancer season and any other water season, it is a great time for you to get really comfortable with your own intuitive abilities. This is why I keep saying, build yourself, that relationship, have that relationship with yourself where you just kind of know. You already know what you might not, what other people might not know. You already know. You can already see through shit. You can already be one step ahead intuitively because you're listening to yourself. Okay, you're feeling your way through, and because you are listening to yourself, because you are listening to your intuitive abilities and what it's telling you, you have that more decisive goal, and also moving more intuitively this week. This week is a really, really great time to kind of go with the flow. Where are you being directed as? Where are you being pushed to? What is the direction? Why do you feel like you need to go where you're going? Why do you feel like you need to head where you're going? We are kind of taking step by step closer to Leo season. That's why, the next 2 cards over is the 7 of Pentacles and strength. The things that we are working towards, okay, the things that we are working towards require dedication. It requires you to listen to yourself. It requires you to also check in with yourself and say, oh my God, am I on the right path? Am I still good? Did I swerve somewhere I shouldn't have gone? Am I still in the clear? Have I gotten out of my path in some way, shape, or form? Is there something that I did to take me out of the road or direction that I'm headed? Or do I now need to take a different direction because that's where my road needs to go? Okay. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, the strength card. pretty much inching us away closer and closer into Leo season, because that's coming. But in order to receive, especially because we have Seven of Pentacles card, and I really love that the way the Seven of Pentacles card, if you take a second to look at it in this deck, it is literally someone who is pregnant and they're looking at the carriage and they're waiting. They're waiting to put the bun out of the oven and put it in the little, okay? They're waiting. It's already brewing. It's already in motion. One of the themes that we've talked about in the past couple of lives, especially the last one, was, that things are in the process of manifesting. Things are happening. Things are moving. Things are shifting. Y'all have to remember, Cancer season, it's a cardinal energy. Things are in motion. Things are not still. Okay, things are not still. They might feel a little still when we get into Leo season, because Leo season is a fixed sign. Fixed. That means the energy of that season is very stable. Cancer season is a very push, forward. Where are we going? Where are we going? Where do you think we should be going? Where do you think it's directional. Leo season is more, you're waiting for it to shift. You're waiting to just take pregnancy as an example, since this card is just visibly showing that. It takes time to build, to grow a child, for the bones to grow, for everything to come together in the womb. It takes time. It doesn't just happen in a day. You can't just pop out a baby in a day. And therefore, you need to be still. You need to wait. You need to let the months. You need to let the time, a lot of time that it needs to take for the thing that you want to come into fruition. And while it is coming into fruition, you need to maintain your strength. Okay? Maintain your strength. This is a time to maintain your strength at all costs. And because it is a very spiritual season, you need to also be doing it spiritually. You need to also be doing it emotionally. You also need to be doing it with your mental health. You need to check in and you need to check out if that's exactly what you need in those moments. This is a time where you are saying, you know what? Yeah, this is facts. Yeah, you know what? I can see that. This is a time where you need to listen to yourself. If your strength levels are not where they need to be, rest. Whatever it is that you need to nurture yourself for this week and the remainder of Cancer season, you need to do for yourself, okay? It is a very common sense season because Cancer rules over motherhood, right? Nourishment. So how have you been nourishing yourself? How have you been not malnourishing yourself too? What is it that you need that you haven't given yourself the time or space for? What is it that you need that you haven't given yourself for? Do you need a spiritual bath? Do you need to hydrate more? Do you need to sleep more? Do you need to rest? What do you need? What have you not been given to yourself? How do you maintain your strength? How do you maintain that elevation during this time? Because Leo season is very much tied to self-care. So how are you caring for yourself? How are you nurturing yourself? I say this every year because it needs to be said, but whatever work you don't do in Cancer season, whatever nourishment you don't do in Cancer season, you will have to do in Leo season. And because Leo season is all about the ego, and it's a really positive season. It is a season of pleasure. It's a season of feeling ego, literally just like, it is a season of you, okay? It's a season of you. Leo's rule, being conceited. Leo's rule, that self, it just rules that, okay? Because the sun rules over Leo. The sun, which rules your ego, your willpower, your inner child. which taps into your playfulness, taps into what you need at your core, who you are at your core. If you do not nourish yourself during Cancer season, which season is supposed to be for that, Leo season will not feel good. If anything, you'll be very triggered during Leo season, and it'll feel like you just can't. There's something about it that you just can't have. You can't have fun. You can't really be satisfied. You can't. Getting blocked there. So you need to be very mindful of doing self-care during this time. And sometimes self-care looks like you doing the work that you need to do. Sometimes it looks like you focusing on your spiritual studies, focusing on your development, focusing on your nourishment, focusing on your energy levels. Okay. It doesn't always have to be about, oh, we're all just really moody. Okay, yeah, we are just really moody. But what are you doing with that? Your moodiness is also a reflection of what you need in the moment. Cancer rules emotional consciousness. Consciousness is in the moment, is what you know right now. What you know right now, in this moment. Mercury energy, very much Gemini energy, very much Virgo energy. What do you know right now? What is the facts of right now? But Cancer just adds the emotional component in there. So what are you emotionally conscious about right now? So if you're feeling down, if you're like, well, you know what, Abby, I'm not feeling so good. I'm kind of feeling sad, or I'm kind of feeling like down, or, I have been feeling like this way. That, okay, what are you going to do about it? Because Cancer season is a cardinal sign. Cardinal means action-based, action-oriented. What are you going to do based on how you are feeling? What are you going to do? What are you going to do based on what you are feeling? Are you just going to leave it there? Are you just going to be like, are you just going to like ignore it? You're going to diss yourself? Are you just going to like brush it off? Like, what is the game plan here? Because Cancer requires action. You can sit on the other stuff in Leo season because it'll be a very fixed energy. Very fixed energy. You can sit on that shit later. But right now, it's like, okay, but why are you feeling sad? Why are you feeling down? Why do you feel like this person doesn't care? Why do you feel like you need to have this conversation? Why do you feel like you can't trust this person? Why do you feel like there's something up with this specific person? And why are you feeling the way you're feeling? And what are you going to do about it? If your intuition is screaming and telling you one thing, if your emotions are screaming and telling you one thing, what are you going to do about that thing? Are you listening to yourself? Are you going to ignore yourself and your own wisdom and your own body and the things that it's telling you? Or things that get stuck that are not addressed. Okay, especially during cardinal seasons. When something gets stuck and it's not addressed, it becomes a whole entire trauma later. It becomes unresolved business later. It becomes, I never got over this, or I can't stop thinking about this, or what. Like, it becomes one of those because you don't want to address it, because you don't want to do something about it. I'm just saying. Collectively, what do we need to know for this week? Collectively. Divinity. Divinity. Let's talk about divinity for a second. First of all, what do we classify as divine? As humans, as spiritual people, what do we classify as divine? And when I hear the word divinity, first thing that comes into my head is nature, right? And when you look at nature, it really tells you exactly what you need to do. A lot of people make things so much more complicated than it needs to be. That is my personal opinion, and I will die on that hill. If you look at nature, it tells you everything that you need to know about how to heal yourself, how to take care of yourself, how to navigate your life. Why? Because nature says, oh, I haven't rained in a while. Let's send over a cloud. Let's send over some rain. So these trees who have not gotten rain in a while can get some nourishment so they can continue to grow and produce their fruit. Nature tells you that there are cycles, that certain things need to happen when they happen. Okay? One of the things I've always said in my life is that I will never have a problem with the rain. I will never have a problem with it raining in any capacity. I don't care if I just got out of the salon, which I don't go to anymore because but I don't care if it rains. A lot of people have an issue. And honestly, if you have an issue with the rain, you are very much colonized in the head. Because why would you be mad that it's raining? I don't care if you just got out of the salon. I don't care if you just did your hair. I don't care if you're in the dress. I don't care if you planned out. Why would you have a problem with the rain? The trees need the rain. Animals need the rain. We need the rain. The trees produce oxygen. We need oxygen. So why would it make sense for nature to just do its thing, nurture those trees so we can continue to have oxygen, which we need to survive? People who think that their aspects of nature are inconvenient understand why nature behaves the way that it needs to. It is essential to happen. Your inconvenience in that moment means jack shit because that tree is still giving you oxygen. It is essential. So, when your life is in a point where shit is happening that is inconvenient, what do you need to do naturally to resolve that thing? Because we mirror nature. We mirror nature, all aspects of nature. We have our droughts. We have time, and the water is flowing very much through. And we have our times where we need to have that emotional release. Where we need that huge thunderstorm to come through and cleanse away everything. Every single aspect of nature has a purpose, and including in the plants that grow, that provide medicine naturally for us to heal those things and address those issues that come up in those moments that we need to nurture. And so it's really important for you to look at your own divinity, the things that you allow to just literally run amok in your life. The things that you create stagnation for in your life, you just leave sitting there collecting dust for no reason and disconnecting yourself from your own divinity and your own cycles and flow of nature. Why do we forget our own cycles of nature? Why do we forget? If we know we need water, why aren't we drinking some? If we know we need to cry, why aren't we allowing ourselves those moments? If you know you need to eat better, why aren't you feeding yourself better food? If you know you need to go on that path or leave that job or leave that person or end that relationship, why aren't you giving yourself what it is that you need? Every aspect of nature, it is important and divine. Even the uncomfortable ones, even the ones that are dangerous, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, all aspects of nature are divine. chaotic aspects of nature are divine. That includes your own chaotic nature that you need to address internally. What happens when you maintain your divinity? What happens when you maintain your divinity? You maintain your strength. You are strong because you are healthy, because you are allowing parts of you to flow the way that they need to flow. You maintain this strength. When nature is untouched, undisrupted, it flows naturally. It happens and occurs naturally. Rain comes. Everything is taken care of in order. There are instant animals that are just every single thing, from poop to literally like, oh, there's not enough water, or this thing dried up, or the rain comes and it fills it back up. Every single aspect of nature that is untouched circulates and cycles through in a very, very healthy way. So if you have unhealthy cycles, that is because you are allowing those unhealthy cycles to continue in your life uninterrupted. You are not only taking away from your divinity, but you are causing yourself to lack in strength, lack in your energy levels, lack within your own viewpoints of your own choices that you have for yourself. It is very, very, very important to maintain decisive. Okay, maintain your decisiveness and be patient for those cycles to come into fruition the way that they need to. Listen, what do we need to know collectively? Then we have full moon, and we have boundaries. What did I say at the beginning of this live? Because I'm pretty sure I said Cancer season is a home body season. It is not the season to be out here with it's not the season to be out here with everybody else. Why? Because you are literally tapping their own water supply within their own body. You are quite literally emotionally amplified, because Cancer rules emotional consciousness. So if you're not, let's say you just got out, you were hanging out with some friends, you just, you're whatever, you were around a bunch of people, you were working. One of your coworkers was having a bad day. They have a whole bunch of stuff going on in their lives. Then you come home and you're like, oh my God, I feel so dense. I feel so heavy. Like, I was fine this morning, and then now I just don't feel good. And I'm like, I feel yucky. I don't know. And I don't know where it came from. Like, I was literally fine this morning. I don't know. Have you ever thought that, maybe it's not even you? We are constantly surrounded by other people's energy. I told y'all, you can transmute energy through water. Sometimes you will be hanging out with someone, and that person will pass down to you, transmute their own pain and energy through you, especially when they're venting. I'm not saying vent people, that's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying when you're hearing somebody talk about or break down or even tell you something that they're going through, you need to be mindful of your own water, how you're taking everything in, because that shit will impact your energy levels, and you will absorb that shit water that is in your body. This is, like I said, I'm gonna say it again because I said it before. This is a really, really great season. Cancer season is a really great season to focus on your spiritual development and understand how to work with the element of water. Because as we are around other people, and this even happens online, there's been times I'm just scrolling through TikTok, And then I'll watch a video and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, damn energy. Then I'll have to grab some Florida water and cleanse my damn self, because you will absorb energy from different places. There's a lot of time. One of the things that I really, really stay doing on TikTok too is that I don't read things in the first person. So if somebody posted a video and they're like, I blah, 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 and they're just making a video about something, or it could be literally anything. It could be like some sort of something that just like puts you in the first person. If that shit had nothing to do with you, I don't understand why it needs to be put in the first person. I don't understand why I need to be out here reading that shit, internalizing it, and then it being a me thing when it wasn't. There's a lot of people doing low-key ass like spells on this. Y'all need to be careful of things that you're reading, because some people will be like, oh, I just went through this and I just went through that and I just got out of the hospital and I just got out of da. And you're reading it like they're putting it in like text. So they're not even saying it to you. They're typing it in. So you're the one reading it. And if you know how spell work works, you can do a lot of spell work with your mind, with your mouth. Okay. So when you are reading something else that somebody wrote about their experience in a first person narrative, guess what you're doing? So you know what I got in the habit doing? I will change the I to a they, or I will just change the whole entire thing. They are going through X, Y, Z, and B. They just got out of the hospital. They just da. I will not read that in an I will not. Because you have to be really, really mindful of how you're protecting your energy digitally. Because that shit is real on some bullshit. Okay? On some bullshit. People don't even realize that they're doing that a lot of the time. But I'm telling you, you need to be mindful of how you are picking up and intaking energy digitally. Okay? You guys know this is an Aquarius. Okay? I love connecting with people. I love talking to people. I love interacting. I love technology. What? But I'm not stupid. I know the impacts of connecting with people, of interacting with people, and of technology. There are ways where you can, especially working with your element, there are ways where you can literally affirm shit that you didn't even want. You weren't even trying to affirm or have that be brought into your life, and all of a sudden, you're like, wait, and then you don't even know where it came from. You just read that TikTok post about, oh, I was in the hospital, and then, oh, you end up in the hospital. Oh, that just happens so randomly. Y'all need to be very mindful about the things that you guys affirm. Okay, boundaries. Look at all of the different ways that you can have boundaries. Look at all of the different ways that you have boundaries with people, because Cancer season will have you emotionally tapped in. And there's a lot of things that happen or are posted and are written in a way where you are emotionally triggered, especially if it's something bad. It can be an emotional trigger where that initial feeling that you get from reading that thing and connecting to it in the way that is written, in the way that it was intended to be written, it can cause spiritual damage, let alone it manifesting within the physical realm. Y'all need to be very mindful of the boundaries y'all have, and y'all need to close some damn chapters that you've been knew that you needed to close. I don't know why we're still having this conversation about closing chapters. Okay, I don't know why we're still having this conversation about closing chapters, but your intuition during Cancer season is on blast. It really is. This is why I keep pushing y'all to work on your spiritual development and your intuitive development, because you should be listening to yourself more during this time. If your intuition is telling you something that you didn't want to know and you didn't want to have to address, because those are always like uncomfortable, right? Those are always really uncomfortable when we're like, we're backed into a corner, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I can't ignore this shit. It's like it is what it is kind of thing. you dismissing what you do with the cycles that need to end is going to impact your boundaries, and it's going to impact your divinity. Because what did I just say? What did I just say previously about nature? It moves in cycles. It gives what it need, whatever nature needs, whatever cycle that specific thing, what it needs, it gives. When you don't maintain that divinity, when you don't create boundaries when it's needed, what happens? You are allowing, and we talk about spiritual consent a lot. You are consenting to that shit, that energy to continue to brew within your life. Not closing chapters that need to be closed leads you to having just an open door for those things to grow like a virus in your life. Like, no. We try to stay safe out here. Okay, we trying to stay safe out here. We're trying to listen. It is a time to listen to yourself. It is a time for your elevation. It is a time for you to grow in your power and grow in your spiritual abilities. It is a time for you to feel more grounded with yourself, to nurture yourself, to really take care of yourself. You taking care of yourself means sometimes you're going to have to tell somebody to F off. Sometimes you're going to have to tell somebody, listen, you can't talk to me like this. Sometimes you're going to have to tell somebody, hey, you crossed one of my boundaries, and you're not going to just do that like it's okay. Sometimes you are going to have to make those boundaries in order to protect your divinity. Okay? You have to advocate for yourself, or you will be used and manipulated by others who do take care of themselves, who know how to manipulate and control. You will absolutely get taken advantage of by those people. If you don't have the power, if you don't have the control, you will be controlled. And those cycles won't end the way that they need to end. I said what I said. I'm just saying. Do you do readings for people? Yes, I do. If you want to book a reading with me, it's on my website. Now let's see. What do we need to know collectively for this week? What do we need to know collectively for this week? We have gratitude, memories, and healing. Gratitude, memories, and healing. This is a very specific message, but I'll say it anyway. If there is somebody that specifically has left a situation or gotten out of a situation, you might still be in the reflective stage. Again, keep in mind that during water seasons, like I said before, whatever other water signs, their energies are still amplified. So even though this is a Cancer season, Scorpio and Pisces still get amplified during this time. Their energies are still amplified. So if you're feeling actively very reflective right now, if you're like thinking about that time, thinking about that person, you're like, oh my God, I went through that shit. Some of you are going to be in the, yo, I'm so glad I'm not in this situation anymore. And just even recognizing that is going to be very, very healing to your spirit. Just even recognizing that. Recognizing the growth that you've had, recognizing that elevation of yourself, again, is maintaining that divinity. Because you're able to, because of those boundaries, You are able to recognize and have that gratitude that you're not going through that shit anymore. And that in itself is healing. That in itself is healing. This week is one of those very, very empowering weeks where it's like, oh, I am so glad I'm done with that shit. I am so glad I'm not dealing with that. I am so glad, like, listen, bottom of the deck is literally positivity. Like, this is I am so glad that I do not have to put up with this person, that I don't have to put up with the job anymore. I'm just so glad. Like, I still remember shit. Like, I still, like, you know, but I had to put in those boundaries. And now that I have that in place and I got to marinate with that, I was able to have that healing that I needed. This particular week is very, very comforting and grounding if you allow it to be. If you allow it to be, because some of y'all do not. Some of y'all have issues with that. And y'all need to have a little bit more self-control. This coming from a Capricorn, okay? A Capricorn. Like, Capricorns have like the most self-control of anybody else because we're ruled by Saturn, so we have to. But some of y'all need more self-control. I cannot stress that enough. What do we need to know collectively for this week? What do we need to know collectively? Ooh. Okay. Bottom of the deck is Bring to Fruition, which is mirroring that Seven of Pentacles energy that we saw earlier. You were surprised? I'm not surprised. The first card that came out is Be Cautious. We talked about the being cautious. We talked about the boundaries. We talked about it. Like, if you're not doing protection work, if you're not protecting your energy, if you're not and there's so many different ways to protect yourself and to do protection work for so many different things. If you were to, like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but sometimes, especially because I consider myself a low-key germaphobe. Like, I'm not like an extreme germaphobe, but I can be, especially when it comes to public bathrooms and shit like that. Like, I am hyper aware of where my hands are, of what I'm touching, of what's happening in the bathroom. I'm very aware of everything. I am so germophobic in public spaces, specifically where my hands are. Oh, I'm eating after work. I have to wash my hands. Just even when I was working in like different companies and stuff like that, I would go into like the employee bathrooms that were shared with employees or like the public. I would just watch people go into the bathroom, go use the bathroom, and walk right out without washing their hands. Like, just the level of, okay, I navigate from that space a lot, and I use that as a little bit of a superpower sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. That high awareness that I have, while it can seem like it can be a little bit crippling in certain situations, I think to me it's a gift, because me being hyper aware has saved me from so many different types of things just by me being cautious. I mean, thinking like a little bit ahead of, oh, this is where this is going, or oh, no, I'm going to use my hand this, or wait, I'm going to eat up. I got what is it? Oh, I don't know if this person cleans it. Just having that extra layer of caution has amplified a lot of things within my practice, especially spiritually. Because if you're not hyper aware about things in your practice, if you're only looking at, oh, I'm using the crystal to protect myself today, I'm using this to, protect, or that's it, that's how I'm protecting myself, and you're not thinking about the other ways that you could protect yourself, you're not thinking about the other ways that you could be, helping yourself, especially when it comes to different things. That's why when I told y'all to stop reading first-person TikTok videos, okay? I am a fan of the I am affirmations. I literally religiously listen to them fairly regularly. I will go on YouTube and I will play the I am affirmations because I think they're super helpful. They're very empowering as well. So listening to those affirmations made me realize that hyperfixation that I have made me realize that when I'm reading things in first person on TikTok and somebody's telling a story about something bad that happened to them and they're putting it in a text box and saying, I went to the hospital, and I'm reading as I'm watching this video, that shit is impacting my energy. That hyper awareness literally came from me being very deep into those little details, because I realized that I wasn't protecting myself from words that I was reading. I'm consenting to that video being scrolled that I'm reading, because I paused and I started reading it. I am consenting to whatever I read. Whatever energy I'm picking up from that video, I am consenting to. So I realized that I needed to be hyper aware and I needed to be cautious about how I am taking in other people's energy, especially digitally. Because y'all know I'm a Venus and Aquarius. Okay. I love technology. I don't have beef with technology. Okay. I don't. But I understood that me being that hyper fixation, that needing to look at things, look at the impact, and think about, if I read this, how is that going? How am I taking this in? Or even if you like, let's say you scroll through a really sad video or something like that. How do you feel? How did you feel after watching that video? What did you take from it? You need to really, again, is that be cautious energy. Cancer season will amplify emotional energy. So you need to be very mindful of how you are feeling and how you're reacting back to yourself within that moment. Because you're absorbing that. You are taking that in. It is now going to be a part of you. So when I say be cautious, I don't just mean like, oh, Black people, oh, da 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 da. It's also, what is it that you are consuming? And how are you protecting yourself from the things that you are consenting to? Okay? Because TikTok is one of those platforms where you're literally swiping up so fast that sometimes you don't even realize the shit that the content that you're taking in. So you need to be mindful about it. You need to be cautious about it. Healing and balance. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition is going to guide you into there. Wow, I just saw the bottom of the deck is literally bring to fruition and then emotional protection. I cannot make this shit up. Bottom of the deck under that is protection. I cannot make this shit up. I really can't. It's just, y'all know, if y'all been following me for a while, you guys know Spirit just be trolling my ass like all day. But with these cards, especially with Oracle cards, y'all already know. But healing balance. You need to check on your emotional energy. You need to make sure you're okay. No means no, yes means yes. What are you consenting to? Think about things a little bit deeper during this time. Okay? We're navigating through water, not air. When it comes to Gemini season, those are things that you can visibly see. Okay? Right? The air element, you can see through it. It's in your face. If somebody says something, yeah, sometimes you're gonna navigate through some of the nuance about it, but some things are very, very clear. Some things are very, very bold. When it comes to water energy, things are very nuanced. Things are very underneath the surface coming out, and you have to emotionally tap into how you feel about it as well. New doorways, because we're starting off that this week with that 2 of Wands energy, feeling very much directional, feeling like we're being very decisive, feeling like we are, making moves, making decisions that we need to make. New doorways. We are walking through, and again, if you're maintaining your divinity, it might seem a little bit selfish to start just choosing yourself. It might seem a little bit different. It almost might seem like a new journey when you start to specifically center you in the conversation and keeping yourself elevated in any situation that's trying to drag you down. There are definitely new doors opening. Some of you might, see some breakthroughs in certain areas, which is great. Go with the flow of that. Certain things moving in order to, some intentions that we have set for ourselves are in motion. So again, take it one step at a time, work with the flow of it. But trust in your efforts. Trust in your efforts. Trust that the garden of your life that you have been watering, trust that you maintaining your divinity, it's leading you where you want to go, where you need to go. Trust in the work that you've been doing. Even if you just started today, even if you're like, you know what, Abby, okay, I'll start working on my development. I'll just start working on my tuition. I'll start listening to myself. I'm gonna just start listening to myself. And then you actually start doing it. And all of a sudden you start noticing, and it's just like eyebrows going off left and right. Okay. Trust in your abilities, especially when we discover things that you didn't want to have ever. Trust in your efforts. Listen to yourself. Maintain your divinity. Allow yourself to heal through the things that we have experienced. Recognize and have gratitude for the things that we have escaped, for the things that we have evolved from. And the spirit messages for this week is just straight up like bold. To say the least, they bold. But that was a weekly healing circle, my friends. I hope that y'all got the messages that y'all needed. It was a lot. It was a lot. I hope that y'all got the messages that y'all needed for this week, as always. But that was the weekly healing circle. For those who are on TikTok and are live for any good reason, it's gonna be on YouTube, which is linked in my bio. Because TikTok doesn't let you replay lives, but YouTube does. So all of my weekly healing circles are in my YouTube. Do not forget to subscribe either, because I make content all the time. Also, I'm sorry that I didn't upload the other 2 videos this weekend because your girl went to go party. Basically, that's what happened on Saturday. So the girl was late, and then yesterday's your girl was a little hungover. For having a little bit too much watermelon vodka. It's my favorite one. So I was in recovery yesterday. Basically. I was chilling with my wife yesterday. Granted, most Sundays I am not. I just that's kind of my day off. Basically, I don't really work on Sundays. But yeah, that was a weekly healing circle. I hope that y'all got all the messages that I needed. Oh my god, I have a draft save to duet one of your polls, but I've posted. I'm getting blasted with racist comments right now. Y'all, listen. The one thing I have mastered with social media is just straight up blocking people. And just straight up blocking people, especially on TikTok. Like I don't mind having a discussion with people. I don't mind, talking about stuff. I don't mind, but I will block you with the swiftness if you're just straight up going like absolute, like for what? I'm not doing that. Nobody got the time. I really don't got the time for that. But I have mastered the art of blocking people because that's also a way of protecting your energy and protecting your space. Sometimes you don't need to fight with that random account that doesn't have even a picture or anything online for no reason. Sometimes you don't need to fight with them. Sometimes you just like them. Period. Protect your space, y'all. Protect your energy, protect your space, protect your work every day. Period. But yeah, I'm sorry you're going through like racist comments and shit. That's not easy. Like that. I'm telling you, every day, ever since I promised my father, who are my ancestors, that I wasn't gonna stop arguing with people online, I've just been tested. Oh my god, every day is a test. It's a test of will, and I low key kind of, because there are certain people on TikTok that literally just follow me because of my hot takes or work. I guess it's fine because I realized that, and I've realized that for a while now. One of the things that a lot of people tell me is that I'm able to explain things in ways that people can either understand, or my delivery is very specific. And that's straight up because my third house is in Virgo and my Mercury is in Cancer. In Capricorn. So if I'm gonna say something on this app, is because I thought about it, right? But it's one of those things that when it comes to social media, shit gets messy. Shit gets messy. Certain people say things out of emotion. Certain people say, and it's not that I don't get emotional here and there. But you also have to know what the point is. I don't let myself get easily gaslighted at all because I maintain my point in different conversations. And some people will actively just keep trying you constantly. And trying to kind of change what you're saying and turn it into 5 other things that you didn't say. But I'm just like, no, this is what I said. It's like when it comes to social media, especially TikTok, is a platform that moves really, 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 really fast. And you have to have the patience of like 10,000 bulls to navigate. But you also have to be very mindful of the language that you use and stuff. But of course, there's going to be random big people who are just straight up racist or straight up like horrible. And I'm not even surprised. I don't get surprised anymore about that shit. But at the end of the day, you got to protect your energy, protect your space, protect your minds, and not. And I live from a very, I said what I said, life. So if I said that shit, you best believe that I stand by that shit. It really comes down to that. But yes, so I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, y'all, for the night. But I love you guys, and I will see y'all in the next video. I am editing. I'm still editing the Puerto Rico vlog. I know it's been taking me like 5 million years. I'm gonna edit the Puerto Rico vlog. For those who are following me on TikTok, make sure you're following me on YouTube because they get the most of my content, including like the most videos because we do daily videos over there. So stay tuned for all of the things. And yeah, I got a couple things that I'm working on. So stay tuned. Stay tuned, y'all, for all of the things. But let me know this week also for those who are gonna the rewatch crew situation. If y'all want some water exercises on transmuting energy, because we can do that as well. Anyway, I'm gonna kind of sign off. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all the love and support. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. And also, before I sign off, my past life readings, 1 hour past life readings are buy one, get one half off. And the coupon specifically expires at the end of the year, at the end of this year. So you have like a while to kind of redeem the 50% off the other one. But definitely make sure that if you want to do it's like buy one, get one half off. That will be on my website. You don't need a code. It's just like if you purchase a buy one, get one, if you book the buy one, get one half off, or if you book the 1 hour live reading, you automatically will get the email. I'm sending them out manually, so just be patient with me on getting you guys the code, but you guys will get the code regardless of the fact. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. I love you guys so much. Have a very, very beautiful, beautiful night. Bye. Have a good night, y'all.